Hey gang, Lisa here again, and this time we're going to be talking about the upcoming Screen Actors Guild Awards. That's right, they are right around the corner. And by right around the corner, I mean Sunday, on Netflix at 7 p.m. That's Central Time, because that's what I'm in. This is the one award show, guys, I'm going to tell you, literally anything can happen, which makes my predictions even harder than usual. I think about it, and this is the award show with the largest voting body. I mean, there are potentially like 130,000 voters. I don't know how many actually end up voting, yet that seems insane to me. Especially when you figure out that the whole Oscar voting body only has like 9,600 people. Now, I get that they do TV and film. However, we're going to focus just on the 6 film categories. And we're going to break it down and we're going to try to nail down each and every prediction. Because with there only being 6, I'm telling you, we got to get them all right. Even though it's SAG, I don't think we're going to see any surprises in these first 2 categories that we're going to talk about. I've been picking these as sweepers all season long, and I'm not going to change my mind. The first one we're going to talk about is Actor in a Supporting Role. Here are the nominees. Jonathan Bailey for Wicked, Yuri Bosovo for Anora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. All of these are great contenders, but here are my picks per the awards expert app. And again, if you don't have it, go ahead, get on it, and follow me so that we can compare and we can compete. Now, I think we can all agree it's going to be Kieran Culkin. He's won everything thus far this season, and I mean, honestly, actors love him, even before A Real Pain. Like, he played Roman Roy in HBO's Succession, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, because Jeremy Strong is also in that. I don't see any, real competition here. Closest one I've got is Edward Norton, and I really don't know that his role is big enough in which to win. I'm going to go with Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Now, moving on to actor in a leading role. The nominees in this category are Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, and Ray Fiennes for Conclave. I do still have Adrien Brody. Now, even though according to the awards expert app, he is the 2nd place, which kind of shocks me, but I guess I get it. If there's any award that Brody could potentially lose this award season, this is going to be the one. I mean, it's an acting body, and, they love Timmy. I mean, how do you not love Timmy, right? But at the end of the day, I think that they're actors, and given the voting body, they're gonna go for Brody, given the Brutalist backstory, right? It's a 3.5-hour movie made for $10 million. And the fact is, Adrien Brody was in 85% of that film. So how do you not kind of give him that acting award? Love for Timmy or not, I think that this is just Brody's year. And I mean, let's be honest, it's not like Timmy doesn't get nominated frequently enough. I mean, this is his 7th nomination. I get it, he hasn't won yet, but let's be real. He's not even 30 years old yet. He's got time to win one. One thing to consider though, is that if by chance Brody does lose SAG, do not lose hope for the Oscars, you guys, because he lost SAG in 2003 for The Pianist, and then he went on to win the Oscar. So, you know what? Regardless if Chalamet wins SAG, Brody's winning the Oscar. Now let's talk actress in a supporting role. The nominees in this category are Monica Barbero for A Complete Unknown, Jamie Lee Curtis for Last Showgirl, Daniel Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson. I'm so happy she finally got a nomination. Ariana Grande for Wicked, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. This one breaks my heart, you guys, because I'm going to end up having to go with my head over my heart, which still upsets me beyond mention that people keep talking about how Ariana Grande is not going to win awards this season solely because there's going to be a sequel. I mean, that's unfortunate for Ariana Grande, and it's also unfortunate for me because I'm going to have to go with Zoe Saldana. Regardless of how actors feel about Amelia Perez or how this is the worst rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd to ever be nominated for Best Picture, I think they still give the win to Zoe Saldana because they're going to be looking at her previous work, right? Because this is Ariana Grande's first real motion picture, and they probably want to honor Saldana because of everything she's done in her career, right? Let's think about it. Avatar, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers. So for SAG, I am going to have to go with Zoe Saldana for the win. The next category, actress in a leading role, got a whole lot more interesting. At least when it comes to the Oscars, right? Because after Mikey Madison's BAFTA win, things could be crazy. However, I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to SAG. Well, let's talk about who's nominated in this category first, right? Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, and Demi Moore for The Substance. I know there's a lot of people out there thinking that maybe the BAFTA win escalates Madison when it comes to the SAG win. I don't know. My gut tells me that BAFTA win doesn't mean a gosh darn thing when it comes to SAG. I mean, seriously, it's actors voting for actors, and Madison's competing against Demi Moore. Like, it's Demi Moore. How do you not go with her? I mean, even before the Golden Globe speech, I think Moore had this one on lockdown. I mean, even though she rocked it when she told people that she had been labeled as a popcorn actress, we're gonna vote for Moore because she had the 45 years in the industry and she nailed her performance in The Substance. I mean, guys, she is 62 years old and she rocked it out. Plus, let's be honest, she gave a fabulous speech at Critics' Choice again. Actors love her as a person. They love her backstory. They still love her relationship with her divorced husband, Bruce Willis. I mean, everything leads to more. I get it. The Oscar race becomes a different story, and it becomes much tighter when you think about how fabulous Fernanda Torres is and how she is now in this running. I mean, come on, guys. Fernanda Torres and I'm Still Here. She's going to give them a run for their money. Plus, you got Madison's BAFTA win. However, at this point, I still kind of have to give that edge to Moore. If by chance Moore loses SAG to Madison, I mean, we might have to reconsider our Oscar predictions. I mean, I don't know that I will, but, some people out there might have to start to reconsider. It's going to be a weird one, gang, and so really keep an eye on that category on Sunday. These next two categories, they're going to make or break my predictions. And my competition is in fifth gear and about to kick into overdrive. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, with only 6 categories, we got to nail all of these. And I can't figure out how SAG voters come up with who they choose for winners. So of course, me being the ADHD data geek that I am, I had to look at the last 10 years worth of data. And that didn't really help me either. I mean, I kind of was sad. I needed something to help me. But okay, it didn't. These next 2 categories we're going to talk about are the Best Ensemble, so Best Cast Ensemble, and Best Stunt Ensemble. There are not many precursors to either of these awards, but especially Stunt Ensemble. That's got nothing. Cast Ensemble, there's a few precursors. However, everything gets confusing when people start talking about best casting versus ensemble, etc. And it's whatever, I don't fully understand. And then there's people out there who say that when SAG chooses Best Cast Ensemble, that's like SAG saying, this is who we think is the Best Picture winner. I need to understand what SAG is looking for when they pick Best Stunt Ensemble. So the year that they nominated News of the World and The Trial of the Chicago 7 over Tenet for stunts? I mean, what stunts were in The Trial of the Chicago 7? That year, I'm talking about 2021, the win ended up going to Wonder Woman 1980. And in 2015, I think I got this one on lockdown. And what happens? SAG ends up choosing Unbroken over X-Men, Days of Future Past. So basically, it comes down to Lisa has not a clue what SAG is looking for. So I'm going to go with my best guess. Because usually I would use data to make sense of all the chaos, and well, the data didn't help me here. At some point, I thought, I'm going to find a correlation between past ensemble stunt winners and box office gross. However, when I looked at it, there was no clear picture or trend, so I couldn't really use that. Again, I'm going to go with my gut here, and here's my predictions. Now, I get it. I have Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm going to try to explain why. But first off, how is it that only 1% of the people on the Awards Expert app have that film winning stunt ensemble? It does break my heart that I'm not choosing Wicked. And I love Wicked, right? I think Wicked is fabulous. And with my competition though, in high gear, as much as I love Wicked, I've got to go with Deadpool and Wolverine. And I've got my reasons, gang. It's not like I'm just okay, let's be different, right? I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine has stellar stunts throughout the whole film. It's also the most successful Deadpool movie ever, making $1.3 billion. Yeah, that's right, $billion. So if by some chance there is a correlation between stunt ensemble win and box office dollars, then like you have to choose this film. Let's look at who's in it, right? You've got Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Who doesn't love these two? And again, actors voting for actors. Everybody loves these dudes. I mean, even when Hugh Jackman sings in Les Mis, people love him. Maybe with the whole Blake Lively stuff going on and like Ryan Reynolds' hilarious little skit time on Saturday Night Live, the 50th anniversary, maybe people have sympathy for Ryan. Maybe they go Deadpool and Wolverine. My second place choice, Wicked. I love this film. I do think the stunts are fabulous. And I mean, let's be honest, the defying gravity scene at the end, that should be the only thing that's submitted and people would be like, dude, that's great. It's a stunt masterpiece. And I get it, right? So like, how do you not give it to them? Yet at that same point, they only made $728 million. I mean, that's like 46% less than Deadpool made. And if we use that whole rationale of like, oh, sequels and what's going to happen, then do they wait and give Stunt Ensemble to Wicked Part 2 when that comes out? I don't know. My third place choice, this surprised me. I have Dune Part 2, which according to the awards expert app, 54% of people out there are picking. I guess I just don't see it, gang. And I know the second one is better than the first one. I've said that all award season. Yet, if the first one lost in 2022 to No Time to Die, then what makes us think it's going to win this time? I mean, I get it. Stunts are great. It's a stellar cast. Yet I don't think it's better than Deadpool and Wolverine or Wicked. Plus, I mean, it only made $700 million, which puts it in third place when it comes to box office rankings. My fourth one, I do have The Fall Guy. Even though it made the least amount of money when it came to the box office, like $181 million or something like that. However, it is a movie about a stunt guy, so it's got stunts. Then, coming in fifth, I've got Gladiator 2. I can't really do a comparison to the first Gladiator because there was no like Stunt Ensemble Award at the 2001 SAG Awards. They didn't start it till like 2007, 2008, something like that. And I mean, they did make $454 million, but still that would only put them in fourth place for box office. And it is some good stunts, but I just don't think that Gladiator 2 stands a chance. So those are my predictions there. I've got to stick with Deadpool and Wolverine. The next category, Best Ensemble, is an equally hard category, if not almost harder than Stunt. And that's because I can't figure out what SAG voters mean when they're saying Best Cast Ensemble. Are they really saying that that's the Best Picture winner? Or are they saying that, hey man, Best Ensemble, this is a rock star combination of performers together, and they made one heck of a, like, fabulous, stellar movie. Yet, it might not be the best movie out there the whole award season, but you know what? Those performers are so good, and they made one heck of a movie that we're going to give them Best Cast Ensemble. To me, that is what this award should be about. And if this supposedly is SAG's equivalent to Best Picture, then looking at the last 10 years, how come SAG only matches Best Picture 60% of the time? And 3 of those 10 years, the Oscar Best Picture winner wasn't even nominated for SAG Ensemble. So how can there be a correlation there? I mean, there was one year where the Best Picture winner at the Oscars was nominated for SAG Ensemble, yet they didn't win. And that year was 2017. Okay, Best Picture went to Moonlight, almost La La Land, but SAG, you know who they chose? Hidden Figures. So that's what makes me think that they're looking more at the like list of people together. And then I have to look at like what few types of award shows that we've had that would be precursors in this type of category. And I looked at it, but it didn't really help. Now, there's a lot of people out there thinking like, oh, because Anora won Best Casting, that must mean that they're going to be winning Best Ensemble. And don't get me wrong, it was a complete shocker that BAFTA went with that type of movie. Yet again, I have to say, there must be a difference between Best Casting and Best Ensemble Award. To me, Best Casting means that the casting director did a brilliant job of bringing together some potentially well-known and also unknown performers together, and they made one hell of a stellar movie, which, let's be real, by definition is exactly what happened with Anora. If we use my definition of best casting, then absolutely Anora should win that category. However, if we look at what I think of best ensemble, that to me means that it's like a group of actors who like got together and they worked together collectively to make an outstanding, wonderful, brilliant film. And so when I think of ensemble, to me that means that there's like not one person or even two people who really stand out above the rest of the cast. Basically, it's like, hey, this movie works because it's a combined group of people. And these people are so brilliant and they work off of each other so well that it's like, how can you not pick them for ensemble? Yet because one person doesn't really stand out, they get nominated maybe in the actor or actress categories, yet they never actually win them. So if we look at that and we use my definition of ensemble, then to me, the precursor of Best Casting win and that Anora BAFTA win don't really mean anything to me. This prediction, guys, was so tough for me. I mean, I had it down to 2, I still have it down to 2, and I battled it out internally. I mean, I went back and forth several times, and even 15 minutes before shooting this video, I was undecided. But I gotta lock it down, and here it is. My final prediction for Best SAG Ensemble is Conclave. I gotta go Conclave for the win. But I'm gonna show you what my predictions are for the rest of it. As you can see, the one I was struggling with is Wicked. To me, it comes down to Conclave versus Wicked. And the funny thing is, this is contrary to what is being predicted out there in the Awards Expert app. I mean, right now, as of Friday early evening, Wicked is the favorite at like 46%, with Anora being the second choice at 40%. And I still believe that Anora percentage being so high is part of that BAFTA win. My pick with Conclave, 12%. I get it. Everyone loves Wicked. Heck, I love Wicked. I mean, I've been predicting them since the beginning. Yet given the way this voting body works and all of the shit that everybody's been talking about Wicked having a sequel, I just don't know if it wins here. I mean, think about it. How come it's okay to say that Ariana Grande shouldn't get the supporting actress win because we're going to give it to her in Wicked Part 2? Wouldn't you just give it to him then? I don't get how you can use logic for one voting category and not another. And let's be real, it's not like there's going to be a Conclave 2 out there. So if we think about Best Ensemble, we look at the cast of Conclave, Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini. Everyone knows these performances are brilliant. I mean, Fiennes and Rossellini are Oscar nominated. They've been nominated several times prior to this season. I mean, Tucci even received some noms early in the season, yet none of them ever win. So if we think about my definition, that's because one person's performance, as great as it might be, isn't enough to like stand out above everybody else. Yet that film, I don't think would be near as remarkable if it wasn't for those performers, hence making a great ensemble. Maybe I'm using some sort of like crazy ADHD type logic that makes zero sense, and I could end up being entirely wrong. I just think Conclave is one of those movies. To me, it's actually one of the 10 best movies of 2024. The cast is superb, and I don't think any one of those performers by themselves deserves to win an award, like Ray Fiennes for actor, Isabella Rossellini for supporting actress. I mean, guys, we all know how I feel about Rossellini even being nominated for as many awards as she has been. And I'm not a snob for amount of screen time or dialogue, because I'm all about understanding nonverbal matters huge in films. Yet I don't think compared to the other, 300-ish eligible supporting actress performances, that Isabella Rossellini rises to the top 5 of that. I mean, her a little under 8 minutes, to me, was never enough to garner those noms. This is, to me, a year where we simply feel like honoring Rossellini because she's Hollywood royalty and giving her props finally. I don't know. I digress. Darn ADHD. I mean, you know how I feel about Rossellini being nominated. Oh, and another thing, the reason I have Anora at number 3 while everyone else has them at number 2 is I do think that the cast is great in Anora. I think it's a great movie, a stellar, directing performance, a stellar screenplay. However, there is one standout performance in that, and that's Mikey Madison. I mean, Yuri's great in that film. props to him for getting all of these award nominations, right? I mean, SAG, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, and an Oscar on his first ever English film. I mean, gang, look for that guy to be on your radar in the future. Yet to me, when it comes to ensemble, I don't think it's Anora. Best casting makes sense, if I understand the award correctly. And if I don't, then God only knows the way this whole thing ends up going. Also, a little bit of knowledge, very rarely does the winner of the BAFTA Casting Award end up winning Best Ensemble at SAG. I mean, those are things we might want to consider. I could find one prior award that went for ensemble, and that was the National Board of Review, and that award went to Conclave. Not that that's my sole reason for my decision. I mean, actually, it weighed very little in my decision. I just thought I'd share that with you guys. So, yeah. Given that SAG is giving an ensemble award and using my, Lisa, Oscar-obsessed ADHD definition, I've got to go with Conclave. It's remarkable, and if we use the same logic that everyone else is using to diss my girl Ariana this year, then I definitely have to choose Conclave over Wicked, and I'll just predict already for next year, SAG Ensemble winner is Wicked Part 2. There it is, gang, my locked down SAG final predictions. Culkin's taken supporting actor, Brody's taken lead actor. I've got Saldana taking supporting actress, more with lead actress, Deadpool Wolverine for stunts, and Conclave for ensemble. As I just read those, I'm thinking, wow, I am different than the awards expert app on 3 of them. Am I being dumb? Will Deadpool and Wolverine be my long shot? Kind of like when I went Superman the Christopher Reeve story for the BAFTA documentary. Me and 2% of people picked that one. And can I remind everybody? I was right. But I won't rub that in anybody's face right now. I just don't know. Will Wolverine and Deadpool end up being my long shot this time? Yet with these SAG picks, I don't know. Am I being smart? Am I being strategic? Is this the inner sports gambler in me coming out? Because yes, I do like to gamble on some sports and anything else you can gamble on. Or am I trying to go big or go home? Who knows? Guess we'll see Sunday. Who do you all have winning in these categories? Any surprises or long shots you're taking? I would love to hear from you and talk about why you're choosing who you're choosing. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Click that little bell for notifications because I will have SAG reactions and all of my Oscar predictions coming up in the next few days. It is an exciting time. T-minus 9 days till the Oscars. All of the films, all of the categories through my Oscar-obsessed ADHD point of view. Thanks, and until next time.